Hello, IK here. Welcome to uh, ChatGPT version 5 is not breaking news. Why? Uh, Here is explanation. Uh, this is my video is for first reason why I record this is word thinker. In promotion, use a company use for GPT word thinker. Same did Google with Gemini 2.5 Pro 2.5 also use thinker, word thinker. Let's get see what is a real state about that. At first, in which part of LLM we have changes from GPT version 4 to GPT version 5 now usable. Where is the change? You look at on the screen process of create final product process where tokenized massive content go to neural networks like numbers, and neural networks learn. In a neural networks is process of learning. Neural networks has trillions parameters, trillions of variable, and that variable in process of learning always changes as reading tokenized massive content. Reading, and you see changes in value, that number in value in neural networks. Uh, After 3 months, 2, 3 months of learning, result is that we have parameters, final value for every token. In tokenized massive content, how many word, textual word, so many tokens. Tokens is like ABC. It is like letters in our language. And here it is a token. A token here, it is a complete word, question mark, point, etc. And there is a 30,000 token, different token. And all massive text, massive content would be translated to tokenized massive content. And that numbers, instead of text sentences, we have numbers. Tokenization use vocabulary. Which token is which number, and translate token in number. And that tokenized massive content go in neural networks, parameter changes for every token. Every token there is 300 millions of parameters variable. That is only statistic. Where is position in every sentence? Position here, position at last, at the end of sentence, begin sentence, what is before, what is after, etc. And 200, 300 of millions variable for one token. And it is knowledge. Neural networks is knowledge. Neural networks know probabilities about every tokens and the no generate when it would be need, generate response, generate content. Okay, after neural networks produce vectors, embed vectors for every ID, token is, and it is data set tokens. And every token, ID of token, there is one vector, and that vector there is a 1536 numbers. It is it is layers in a neural network. Layers in a neural network, there is a 1536, and every layer is context. Okay, a final, in the end, we have finished this job, disconnected the tokenized massive content, and we have only neural networks and dataset tokens. Dataset. In this process, nothing new. Nothing new. It is the same like Chat GPT version 4. Where is the news? Okay, let's get other part of process. Prompt coming. We write a prompt. Prompt go in machine learning, in LLM, and go to that prompt at first must be tokenized. Tokenized like massive content. And that token of prompt would be embedded, would be embedded with vectors. It is exist 30,000 token, and some of that 30,000 is in our prompt. And every of that token, there is vectors data. And our prompt is now numbers, token in numbers, and every token in numbers, there is vectors. Every vectors, there is a 1536, but it means that they call it dimension. It is, I like say it is context. And for example, if our prompt is something about tomatoes, that tomatoes, it is only one, only part of the sentence or part of our prompt, that tomatoes, there is in arrows one number very high, for example, 1. It is the highest possible number, 1. And it is in category agro, for example, agronomy. And that number, agronomy, that biggest number now guide that token in layer agronomy in neural networks, and expect that in that layer there is the most about tomatoes, and it is now as it, and it is and here is a difference. Now, don't go only with highest vectors data, vectors numbers, like here, but go immediately, for example, in 5 layers, also the highest possible, in 5 layers or 10 layers, and generate parallel immediately, generate 5 or 10 response. That response would be it is important that there is no crucial changes. We have some example until now with version 4 that sometimes we receive the two respond, and we need choose. I never read second. I always read one, and because there is no difference, and it would be now same. You will see how. But now, uh, 5 or 10 parallels generation of content response. And here is the news. There is a new parameters. What is like some new or like some adding LLM who choose the best and how choose the parameters. Huh. Choose like all choose by statistics and statistics, by probability, and probability. And how we have probability, which token go after this token. So now there is a adding of parameters who decide what of that 5 response or 10 response, all it is behind, men don't see anything. What is the best? And choose the best as they, as neural networks thinking is the best, and that best plays to us on the screen. And what is the problem? Why GPT is not breaking news? GPT-5 is not breaking news because uh, I would say my example. Uh, I use artificial intelligence like this. I first thinking about something, first thinking, uh, or maybe some asking what is very new for me, asking of GPT, asking, uh, and after some time, my idea is I have some idea how something works, and I said it to ChatGPT. ChatGPT said, yes, you are correct, but I don't satisfy with my idea. I thinking uh, again, and at last I am satisfied. I uh, prompt to ChatGPT that knew my idea, and ChatGPT said, yes, you correct. But why ChatGPT did not respond me answer with what I would be satisfied? No. Uh, uh, until some level of some level of working is excellent in programming, etc. In some data like search about general knowledge, but for example, concretely about ChatGPT, every hour talking would be total not understandable from ChatGPT to me, and I must thinking all about. For example, I thinking a lot of about why uh, authors of artificial intelligence, ChatGPT, etc., why don't use letters, 27 letters, 30 letters, for example, of English, as token? and not 30,000 token, 30,000 token. And I thinking about that. Uh, and I think when letters, uh, what is the next letters before this one letters? Uh, it is impossible decided. And I said to ChatGPT that reason is that we need trillions and trillions and trillions parameters in networks if letters would be token, but very hard we achieve what we achieve with 30,000 token word. Words, every word is one token. And ChatGPT said, yes, okay, you correct. But, and always repeat what I said. And but I don't, I not be satisfied with my uh, solution for that problem, for differentiation, for that. Not be satisfied because I must connect meaning. And I thinking, and one moment I know thinking and learning, and I thinking, okay, when tomatoes is token coming in neural networks, uh, that token received less or more higher or smaller number in neural networks. About what it depends? Depend about layer. Layer is context. When there is a 1536 context in neural networks. When we are in agronomy, for example, tomatoes in agronomy will produce uh, vectors data of that category produce one. It will be the highest possible one because that tokens, it is in number in neural networks, would be there in that context would be a lot of times, and it is statistic how many we have, how many times token include in some context. And for tomatoes, maybe in that context, depend about quantity of context, would be, for example, million times tomatoes, number of tomatoes show up in agronomy layers. But in IT or in technology, no one times. For layer agronomy, will have vectors number one. That parameters would be give vectors number one, and it is the highest possible. But in IT or technology would be zero, number zero. And that numbers, it is high and plus parameters, 300, 300 parameters or variable would be result of statistic, calculate statistic about every possibility, where often that token is in which location in sentence, the end, begin, how many times is before some other token, how many times is in front of that token, etc., etc. It is parameters. statistic, statistic, statistic. And about that, number can be higher, parameters can be higher. Every parameters know own role. It is like, it is a variable. It is declare trillion variables, parameters, or weight. Weight is excellent name for it. How weight token is in some layer of neural networks. How weight and number is bigger number is bigger weighting of that, and from that numbers is probability, statistic, and contrary statistic. Statistic calculate state. What is facts about every token and about anything. Facts. What is a fact? But probability is calculation based on that statistic. What is how it is probably what is the probability that this token go behind this token? What is probability? But token which have the highest probability will be next token. Statistic, probability, and all these numbers show in numbers. And when process finished, we must receive response, and that response go again by tokenizer in contrary from numbers. Response there is in numbers, create token in words, and that token in words create sentence, and we see text like response. You see where is you see why artificial intelligence did not explain me difference between letters as token and word as token, because number of letters, it is nothing, but numbers of tomatoes, it is word. Artificial intelligence don't understand word. Artificial, there is a statistic in neural network that this number, it is token, was show up millions times in agronomy, and it's all. But it is a meaning. It is a meaning. It is a meaning. It means that. But that meanings is meaning on it is artificial meaning through numbers, higher numbers, number one, the highest number. But trillion parameters, all that statistic, all that is meanings that token will go after that token, etc., etc. But token, not letters. What letters behind letters, it is impossible to say, because letters nothing meaning in our man's world, nothing meaning, and cannot meaning in neural networks also. But word tomatoes, it is a meaning to us, to people, to men, and it will be artificial solution for that meaning. And you see how by number, higher number, lower number, etc., and trillions number. And here is a difference to the ChatGPT, GPT 5. here in this that prompt by with embedded vectors don't go in one starting point in neural networks, but go to more starting point, parallel, synchronize, and work synchronized parallel. It need more power, but response would be more concise. More concise, it means less token in response, would be less token, and we pay use of generative AI key from OpenAI or others, Gemini. We pay by tokens, quantity of tokens. How many tokens in response? So many would be we need to pay. A price you have on the internet price, and of course it is excellent. It is excellent that we have less, but better of all is concise. But in that concise response would not be the final response, would not be explanation as a man, as I explain. Our communication would be same. I will said something, artificial would said yes, you correct, but I would not be satisfied. And I thinking, and after some time I am satisfied. I am satisfied with my thinking about why a word is spoken and why not letters is spoken. I am satisfied. And it is my finished, it is for me in this moment deep learning. Next, my learning would be only if I want to go in learn to statistic and probability, but I don't see myself in that. It means work on the artificial intelligence about model. Even so, it is maybe impossible. We don't know for future because everybody can rent a platform in Amazon or Azure and pay 5,000, 10,000 for smaller model, for produce smaller model and use Facebook free open code artificial intelligence, machine learning. I don't know in the future. Okay, I think that crucial changes not happened, and the word thinker is promotional word, but never mind with reality. It is it is true that we must think. Even so, we like that GPT thinking for us because thinking take a lot of energy from man, and we have a resistance to thinking. I have resistance to thinking, except it is not something what interested me. Yeah, it is very different. Somebody may think that I like thinking. No, I like thinking about what interesting me. So I hope that this my videos about machine learning would call some interest in you, and that you will learn this fundamental knowledge, but it is deep. It is deep knowledge about what we need for use generative AI in our ordinary application, like I use it now in e-commerce. Without this fundamental, you cannot use artificial generative AI. And I hope you like my video, and my video get interest that you thinking about this. Uh, I something I see that microprocessor is the most sophisticated product of our humanity, of human civilization. But no, there is no one man who know all inside because we don't need it. But that microprocessor is built from a transistor and from switch, open, close, 1, 0. And it is a math inside that. And it is very, very simple. Switches, transistor, open, close, 1, 0. It is very, very simple and simple as possible in fundament. It is deep learning. And but when you have 1 billion, today a lot of billions transistors in some hardware volumes of fingers, it is really complicated. Or if you look at what give to us that box of computers, what is full of numbers, only numbers and binary numbers, and what give, how movie, how video, how animation, colors, how many colors, how beautiful website. When we see that product, we thinking we thinking like miracle, big miracle, that boxes of computer. So now in artificial intelligence, inside is numbers, only numbers, and that numbers changes. It is variables, parameters, weights. How call we it? But it is numbers, and it is decimal here. It is decimal numbers. Of course, in computer it is again uh, binary numbers, 1 and 0. Uh, and we thinking about that as something very complicated, but like microprocessors. So not and microprocessors is on the Boole algebra logic. It is very simple math about that switches. And so here, statistics is as any statistic in the world, but here it is that statistic. I don't know nothing about that statistic, but in the simplest form, that statistic calculate uh, how calculate how many times in that context would be this token present, would be this token present. For example, if we begin, but of course, all after that, it's go complicated and I don't know nothing about that except this, what I said in primitive form. Uh, okay, but now for apply artificial to my application, uh, it is this fundament is enough for me momentarily. But you see, I always finish that it's last video about artificial that I going back to React, but always something new. And today I see GPT-5, and I know that it is not big news. You will lot of ping pong with AI, when we but thinking is only up to you, because you must be satisfied with idea, and not that we, you cannot believe. Knowledge is on satisfaction, our satisfaction, until what level we understand something and it is satisfy us, how something we understand. And you look at here, uh, for now, uh, statistics and probabilities I is not interesting for me. But if someday I go in that, it would be very, very excited. And all next discovery, all next breaking news would be about that uh, statistic, calculation of statistic, and calculation of probability. Uh, that calculation will bring human human humanity lot of advances and advances and advances. And this chat 5 chat GPT 5 is advances is in statistics, because they have one new layers of statistics and probabilities. It is layers. What response is the best? What response is the best? It is calculated also on the fundament of parameters about that. For that deciding, for that level of decide, they must they must declare, and they must enter uh, millions and billions new parameters, new variable. Uh, okay, it's all for this video. If you know somebody that need a video like this, tell them about that. You can subscribe, like, comment. I enjoy when I see your engagement. Thank you very much for watching this video.